Hey, girlfriend, you know who you are. You have big, big dreams. You want to write a book, stand on a TED Talk stage, be a life coach offering wisdom from your RV in Montana, a cafe in Barcelona, or a beach chair in Tulum. Your other girlfriends and your family, they don't always get your biz savvy. Why do you want to leave your JOB? Because you're a C.A.T.S, aka coach, author, thought leader, and speaker. Meet other change makers like yourself and find out how they make it happen. This is the Big Meow podcast.
Hello, and welcome to the C.A.T.S Networking Podcast. I'm Angela Howard, and I'm here with Melissa Wittenborn. Did I say that correct? Wittenborn.
Wittenborn.
Yes,
like I wasn't born yesterday.
I bet you weren't. We're going to hear more about you. Thank you so much for taking the time and being on our show this morning. Can you tell us a little bit more about you and what you do?
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity, Angela. My name is Melissa Wittenborn, and I started a company called Momotivation. It is a speaking business, as well as I have one published book, possibly another one coming down the pipes. But motivation means momentum building to motivate you to push forward and get unstuck from your yuck zone. So I help people through difficult challenges in their lives, financial, emotional, relationship, health, and also self-esteem issues, which all of those I can seriously relate to.
Yeah, can't we all? I mean, we're just all human. So what inspired you to start a business like this?
Well, I have been through a lot of multiple life challenges. My first challenge was when I was 5 years old. I became deaf through a childhood illness, and people called you back then a little hard of hearing. You weren't really deaf. And then about 20 years ago, I had a serious traumatic brain injury. I had no self-esteem when I was a child, and that kind of carried on into my adult life. The traumatic brain injury caused me to have 5 hemorrhaging sites in my brain, a 4.5-inch skull fracture, and it was from a freak ice skating accident. So I lost my smell and my taste. I was already deaf, so I really didn't have any more of that to give up. And then I also lost some vision in the accident. So while I was in the ICU unit with 5 massive hemorrhaging sites, the 4.5-inch skull fracture, the neurosurgeon came in and said, we need to drill 12 holes into your head to release the pressure. And I decided to refuse the brain surgery, which is absolutely unheard of. And that caused some fracturing in a relationship that I was in at the time. And the neurosurgeon told me that I would die without it. But I had studied a lot of psychology in college, and I decided that I was going to use the power of positive affirmation to heal myself. So while I was in the neurological ICU unit, I said over and over while I was vomiting and passing out, I feel great. I feel the hemorrhaging slowing down. And somehow, some way, miraculously, it took about 7 weeks, but the hemorrhaging did stop. And so it was through that life challenge that I regained my own sense of self and decided to come back to center, reclaim my self-esteem, reclaim my own inner powers of self-healing. And then if I could do it, then I could help others do the same.
Yeah, really sounds like you work that mind over matter muscle, huh?
Big time, because the surgery, I had 2 teenage children at the time, and the surgery just didn't seem like the best case scenario. And I did ask the neurosurgeon, so what's my best case scenario? And he said, assisted living.
Oh my
goodness. I still had 2 teenage children that I was wanting to raise. So that just wasn't going to work for me.
So motivation is the main theme in the way you work. So, wow, it sounds like you really had to work on your own motivation. So who are your clients and how do you work with them?
So I work with a variety of clients. Right now, I'm more focused on health and wellness because when you recover from a traumatic brain injury, there's a lot of weight gain and things, especially if you lose your sense of taste and smell. So I'm coaching a team of people right now on how to become healthier and better through the power of their own mindset.
Mhm.
I also help people in financial challenges because I've been through a divorce myself, and a lot of people get really caught up in all the emotions of it when it's actually a financial transaction. And I also help small businesses kind of push through what they don't know. Since I've been through all these different challenges, I just try to appeal to a broad spectrum of people. I've coached young people, I've coached figure skaters, I've coached hockey skaters. I've coached a wide variety of people. So really, I call it trying to get unstuck from your yuck zone. I think a lot of people really get mired in the negative talk. And so when people get sick and tired of being sick and tired of doing the same thing over and over, which is a definition of insanity, by the way, then they reach out to somebody like myself. So I've had some great success stories, and I really enjoy doing that.
So Melissa, I'm so glad to hear all that. It's amazing what you're doing. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Great, thank you.
You are listening to the Big Meow podcast, sponsored by C.A.T.S Network.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes. And so now I want to know, what is your favorite success story? Somebody that you worked with that came in one way and after working with you, kind of left your doors another way.
I think my favorite success story was coaching a hockey team of high school boys because they thought I was just kind of a lunatic. And I made them say things out loud. They would always get to regionals, but they could never get themselves to nationals and win a championship. So we talked about the negative talk. I had them affirm things if they got upset on the ice, instead of saying, "Oh, dang it, I should have missed that. I should have gotten that." I would say to them, say to yourself, "I'm going to try again, and I'm going to be better, and I'm going to be better, and I'm going to be better." So my proudest moment was the fact that they actually did get unstuck from being in regionals for, I think they were in regionals like 3 or 4 years in a row. They went on to nationals and they actually won their national championship. And I did lots of demonstrations on the power of negative self-talk and how that relates to how your body outputs things into your sport, so to speak. And so they really kind of, I got their attention, and my daughter was in high school with these men, and they kept coming up to her saying, "Okay, the stuff that your mom's coaching us to do is actually working. That's just weird." And so it was fun to imprint into younger minds that the power of your self-talk is really pretty much everything that you do in your life, whether it be a sport or your life. And I've had some of these kids circle back to me telling me they really appreciated the coaching that I did for them.
Wow, that's amazing. And we have a lot of C.A.T.S, coaches, authors, thought leaders, and speakers listening. And I'm curious, with your bevy of knowledge, do you have a nugget, a tip for us as career women in our own entrepreneurial businesses that you could give us from being in a business like yours?
Yes, I do. You know, a lot of times women get lost in the frenziedness of life. They're living for their spouse or significant other. They live for their children. They live for their grandchildren. They're always living for other people. The biggest gift I had in my life, believe it or not, was a traumatic brain injury, because it brought me back to center and brought me back to myself. So how can you change that mindset? I teach people you're one thought, one statement away from empowering your life. I believe that what you should do is journal. If you're angry about something, don't put that out into the universe, because I believe that what you put out comes back, and we don't want negativity in our lives, when as women, we're always having to deal with negativity because we're caretakers. That's just what we do. So I encourage people to journal, not to type, not to do it in your phone, but to put pen to paper, because there's something powerful about writing down your journey as you move through your yuck zones, I call them, and watching yourself evolve and grow. So there's something about the touch, the seeing, the actual affirmations, instead of saying, oh my gosh, my kids never listen to me, say, today my kids are going to listen to me because I have so much to inspire them with. There's just a different way to say everything. I also firmly believe in taking walks in nature. There's something cathartic about walking outside, and next thing you know, there's a butterfly and a bird you're following, and it gets you out of that mindset, that negative mindset. So that's what I recommend people to do. And if you're really stuck, then I recommend that they reach out to me, because I can kind of help you dice that down into small bite-sized pieces, because literally you're just one thought away from creating something better for yourself.
Wow, you really are inspirational. And so how do we, if we're stuck in the yuck, get in touch with you? How do we find you?
You find me on my website, which is momotivation.com. I'm on Facebook as Melissa Wittenborn, Momotivation. I'm also on Instagram, which is Momotivate. So it's MOMOTIV, the number 8. And I'm in the process of kind of redoing my Momotivation YouTube page. So I will have that coming up in the near future as well.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us this morning, and good luck on that second book. You say you've got another one coming out, so we'll keep an eye out for that.
I do. Thank you so much. I really, truly value and appreciate the time that you shared with me. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you from C.A.T.S Network.
Thanks for listening to the Big Meow podcast, sponsored by C.A.T.S Network. If you liked what you heard, please take a moment to subscribe and share this podcast with your friends. You can also join our network filled with positivity and possibility. Visit www.catsnetworking.com to join us and learn more, together with your magical, motivated, and mystical new friends at C.A.T.S Network. Let's transform 1 million lives with your message. Are you feeling isolated sitting at home in your PJs? Or perhaps you're tired of the comfy sweatpants with holes in them that are hidden just below the camera? I mean, you could puke at the thought of another day of Zoom meetings and reporting to your BOSS. Do you want freedom from your home office desk or the office cubicle? Do you want freedom from your current career? Or are you frustrated that your online biz dreams are going nowhere? It's all too overwhelming. Where do you start? All the tech, the choices, and your message. Yep, I said your message, your brand, your voice. What is it? Do you even know what that means? Do you need a biz coach but don't want to invest the big bucks? Let's face it, being a solopreneur is lonely, but you don't have to do it alone. And here's a solution. Join C.A.T.S Network. C.A.T.S Network is a woman-only membership community exclusively available to you, the life coach or executive coach, the author, the thought leader, or the public speaker. If you identify with this list or want to work on adding some of these to your skill set, C.A.T.S is the place for you. Check us out at www.catsnetworking.com. That's C.A.T.S networking.com. Because let's face it, cats are better together.